Welcome to Storylink Radio. We have many exciting things planned for this Halloween beginning now. Subscribe to Storylink Radio YouTube channel ASAP to keep updated on all events and times. A shining pumpkin gem of this year's Halloween events is Countdown to Halloween, beginning at midnight on October 1st and featuring Gregory Miller's Dark Nights and Candlelight, 31 Tiny October Tales. Every night at exactly midnight, a new story will appear on Storylink Radio's YouTube channel. You will have 24 hours to listen, and then it will disappear, and the next one will appear. Plan to catch these each day, or you'll miss one. Each story will be 2 to 13 minutes long. This really is a special treat. Listen now to Gregory Miller's introduction to Dark Nights and Candlelight, 31 Tiny October Tales. This is the reason he created this marvelous collection. This little book of stories, like many of the stories themselves, the blending of two loves. I usually avoid introductions and afterwords to my books, but in this case figured a few words about these two loves might give some insight to what this book is and how I came to write it. Every year when I was a kid, my parents gave me an advent calendar on the first day of December. A few had chocolates in them, think Bad Santa, and others had little pictures behind every window of presents and ornaments in some, small town winter scenes in others, and so on. It was all part of the excitement, the ritual of counting down the days to Christmas. And honestly, when you think about it, isn't the build-up to a holiday usually better than the holiday itself? That doesn't mean the holiday finally arrives. It isn't great or precious or special, but it is fleeting. So the days leading up to it become a bulwark against time's rush to take it away from us for another year. But Christmas, though always special, was never my favorite holiday. Halloween was, and is. And over the years, I've found ways to maintain my love for it. The one holiday that stares down death, that embraces darkness with humor and imagination, and that has, in the words of M.R. James, who should know, a pleasing terror at its heart, and the unknown as its restless soul. My current Halloween habit is making lists. During the week of September, I'll start jotting down lists of movies, lists of stories, lists of places to go and things to do. Last year, for example, I made a list of 31 horror movies and another of 31 short stories, one for every day in October. And then I watched the movies and read the stories every evening for 31 evenings, all the way through Halloween. So on October 3rd, the day my sons and I configured our spooky town in the library, I watched The Taking of Deborah Logan and read W.F. Harvey's The Upper Berth. On October 9th, the day we put up our outside bats, grays, jack-o'-lanterns, and scarecrows, I watched Evil Dead 2 and read Ray Bradbury's The Handler. And on October 26th, the day I finally bought the Halloween candy, I watched VHS and read Marjorie Bowen's The Crown Derby Plate. And I should probably add that there are intentional echoes, some faint, some clearer, of all three of those stories in this collection. This brings me back to Advent calendars. Late last September, I was rummaging around in my parents' basement, and at the bottom of a beat-up box full of Nintendo Powers, He-Man figures, a handful of Micro Machines, and a couple of Mad Balls, I found one of those old calendars, probably from Christmas 1988 or so. One by one, I opened the little paper windows on the glittered Victorian house, and I looked at the tiny scenes I'd last seen 30 years before as I counted down the grade school days to Christmas morning. And that's when it struck me. The October lists are Advent calendars, too, of a kind. Earlier that year, I'd published a long novel that had taken over 3 years to write. So at that moment, an idea came. Why not switch gears and follow that one up with a short book? A little collection of very brief stories, all centered around Halloween or the spirit of Halloween. A written countdown to my favorite holiday. So, that's what I did. That's what this is. I didn't set many rules for it. I've always enjoyed reading really short stories, microfiction, and flash fiction. Slightly longer tales, but still tiny, can be fun too. Therefore, a few of the stories here are only a couple of sentences or paragraphs long, and Others weigh in at just a page or two. Scattered among them are some of more standard length, but still short, none more than 1,800 words. By doing this, my hope is that if you want, you'll read one of these a day, every day, from October 1st right through the end of the month. And that may be, if I did my job right. They'll make you feel a little of that nostalgic, bittersweet, scary, and ultimately timeless pull of Halloween that is so easily lost over the years, but which can still be found in certain dark corners and shadowed hollows when the crisp leaves fall and wood smoke rides the air. You've just heard the introduction to Dark Nights and Candlelight, 31 Tiny October Tales from author Gregory Miller. You can get this book right now on Amazon at the link on the screen, and Kindle Unlimited users can even borrow a copy of the book for free. You can learn more about Gregory Miller and his many amazing books and projects at his website on the screen. If you haven't already, be sure to listen to our event video here, Storylink Radio's Halloween 2021 From the Shadows, and visit our website to learn all about our upcoming events. Oh, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button for Storylink Radio.